This delicious cooking ingredient is loaded with essential nutrients and gut-friendly fiber. It can support your immune system and it can rev up your energy, but it's not for everyone. Nutritional yeast is also known as nooch or hippie dust. It's a single-cell fungus with incredible nutritional value. It's made from Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which is a type of yeast used in brewing and baking. Manufacturers grow Saccharomyces cerevisiae, deactivate it using heat, and then dry it out to get the final product. They can select and culture specific strains of yeast for desired nutritional value and properties. Nutritional yeast is a popular cooking ingredient, especially in vegan dishes, as a cheese substitute. People also use it to boost their immunity, energy levels, and their intake of essential nutrients. Nutritional and brewer's yeast are close relatives. They both contain Saccharomyces cerevisiae, but they're slightly different in their production process, nutritional value, and their use. Brewer's yeast is a byproduct of the beer brewing industry, usually grown on hops or grain. People use it dried or deactivated as a nutritional supplement. Depending on the growth medium, brewer's yeast may contain gluten. The food industry grows nutritional yeast for its dietary use only. The growth medium is glucose or molasses, which makes the final product gluten-free. Unlike nutritional yeast, brewer's yeast is naturally rich in chromium, which can help to lower blood sugar levels. As such, brewer's yeast might be a better option for people with diabetes. Nutritional yeast is usually fortified with vitamin B12 and thus more suitable for vegans who can be at risk of a B12 deficiency. Brewer's yeast has a bitter taste that many find unpleasant. Nutritional yeast has a nutty or cheesy flavour and it blends well into various dishes. Brewer's yeast may be more suitable for diabetics, but it has a bitter taste and may contain gluten. Nutritional yeast is usually fortified with vitamin B12, has no gluten, and tastes much better. Nutritional yeast didn't get its name by chance. It delivers a blast of high-quality protein, fiber, B vitamins, and minerals. Plus, it has only 60 calories per serving, with no sugar and cholesterol. There's two types of nutritional yeast, fortified and unfortified. Fortified products usually contain added B12, folate, and other B vitamins, such as thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, and pyridoxine. Fortified nutritional yeast per 100 grams is usually 53% protein, 3% lipids, 33% carbohydrate, and 20% fiber. It also contains minerals such as zinc, iron, potassium, and the B vitamins B1, B9, B3, B6, and B12. Many vegans use nutritional yeast to supplement their diet with vitamin B12. However, yeasts don't naturally contain this vitamin. They produce a so-called pseudo-vitamin B12, which doesn't have a high biological activity in humans. It can compete with other forms of active B12 and potentially even worsen a B12 deficiency. Fortified products with added B12 can improve the intake of this vitamin. If you rely on nutritional yeast as your only B12 source, make sure to use a fortified product that meets your daily needs. In a study on 49 vegans, fortified nutritional yeast improved their vitamin B12 status. Keep in mind, however, that nutritional yeast can't treat vitamin B12 or any other nutritional deficiency. Saccharomyces cerevisiae used by bakers is naturally rich in folate in the form of tetrahydrofolate and 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate, which is the active form. Nutritional yeast is likely to contain folate in these forms also. Natural folate content depends on growth conditions and it varies between products. You should always check nutritional labels before assuming that a nutritional yeast product contains enough folate. Fortified yeast contains synthetic forms of folate, some of which may not be suitable for people with the MTHFR gene polymorphism, and this can prevent folate activation. Nutritional yeast is also rich in mannan-oligosaccharides, beta-glucans, nicotinamide riboside, and dietary nucleotides. These nutrients support your gut health and your immune system, and they can contribute to a range of the benefits of nutritional yeast. Based on the growing method and the conditions, nutritional yeast can also contain chromium, selenium, and glutathione. Nutritional yeast is rich in protein, minerals, B vitamins, and prebiotics. It also contains immunity-boosting beta-glucans. Fortified products usually have B12 and folate added. Heart disease is the leading cause of death worldwide, with high blood pressure and cholesterol as major risk factors. Nutritional yeast is packed with cholesterol-lowering components, such as beta-glucans, niacin, and nicotinamide riboside. In 55 diabetics, a low dose of Brewers yeast, 3.6 grams daily for 8 weeks, reduced blood triglycerides and LDL, while increasing beneficial HDL cholesterol. Higher doses of this supplement, 10 to 20 grams per day, achieved similar results in 46 subjects. That said, the above studies didn't have placebo controls, and they used chromium-rich Brewers yeast. It's not sure whether nutritional yeast without chromium would produce the same effect. Beta-glucan from Saccharomyces cerevisiae cut cholesterol levels in 15 obese men, and it caused no side effects. Studies on rats and mice also suggest their cholesterol-lowering potential. In a study on 90 diabetic patients, Brewers yeast significantly reduced blood pressure, but it failed to improve blood lipids. The components of nutritional yeast that may help to reduce the blood pressure are the minerals, being potassium and magnesium, the peptides that block angiotensin converting enzyme, or ACE, and nicotinamide riboside. Nutritional yeast contains different nutrients that can reduce blood pressure and cholesterol and support heart health. Prebiotics, the beta-glucan and the mannan-oligosaccharides, and cell wall components of Saccharomyces cerevisiae can support the gut microbiome and help with a wide range of digestive issues. In animal studies and test tubes, scientists have observed the potential of these components to shield the gut by binding fungal toxins such as ochratoxin, by removing harmful bacteria and supporting the good ones, by strengthening the gut barrier and boosting immunity, and by soothing gut inflammation. That said, nutritional yeast contains inactive cells and thus lacks probiotic effects such as increased nutrient absorption and additional microbiome benefits. These are limited to supplements with active live strains of Saccharomyces cerevisiae or Saccharomyces boulardii. Gut health is the cornerstone of robust immunity. By nurturing the gut and shielding it against pathogens, nutritional yeast from Saccharomyces cerevisiae can strengthen the immune system. Two main carbohydrates from nutritional yeast, alpha-mannan and beta-glucan, have immune-boosting properties. They bind and stimulate the immune cells, making them more efficient against various infections and diseases. In 2 studies of over 200 participants, a supplement with Saccharomyces cerevisiae and its products lowered the risk of catching a cold and reduced the symptoms in those who became ill. The same treatment relieved the symptoms of hay fever in 96 individuals. Truth be told, the above studies on the Epicor supplement were funded by the company that owns the supplement, which could indicate that there was a conflict of interest. Yeast beta-glucans also showed immune-boosting properties in clinical trials and animal models. They were able to prevent infections, accelerate disease recovery, reduce symptoms of disease, and relieve allergic reactions. Nutritional yeast is rich in zinc, another nutrient that supports the immune system. Beta-glucans, zinc, and other nutritional yeast components boost your immune system, making you more resistant to infections, chronic disease, and allergies. Many athletes and active people use nutritional yeast as an energy booster. It's loaded with nutrients that support a healthy mood and energy production. Patients with chronic fatigue syndrome are often deficient in B vitamins and other nutrients. Products based on Saccharomyces cerevisiae may improve their nutritional status, enhance cognitive function and mood, and reduce other symptoms. The following components from nutritional yeast improve mood, energy, and physical performance in clinical trials: beta-glucans, nucleotides, and B vitamins. Nutritional yeast contains an array of nutrients that support mood and energy, but the available clinical evidence on this is limited. In 2 studies on 162 diabetic patients, Brewers yeast reduced glucose levels and it boosted insulin function. Brewers yeast is naturally high in chromium, which is partially responsible for these beneficial effects. Chromium-enriched nutritional yeast was able to lower blood glucose by boosting the insulin function in animal trials. Nutritional yeast may or may not contain chromium, so make sure to check nutritional labels. Beta-glucans may also improve lipid and glucose metabolism in patients with diabetes. According to limited clinical evidence, chromium-enriched yeast may also lower blood glucose and boost insulin function. Yeast beta-glucan also has anti-diabetic effects. In a study on 54 obese men and women, a Saccharomyces cerevisiae-based supplement helped to reduce weight and belly fat without adverse effects on lean body mass. Obese women who took the same supplement ate less, lost more fat, and didn't crave sugar as often. Researchers observed the ability of the yeast hydrolysate to reduce the body fat in animal studies also. Although yeast hydrolysate and nutritional yeast both contain Saccharomyces cerevisiae, they are produced differently, and they may not have the same effects on weight loss. Additionally, high amounts of B vitamins may increase your appetite and the risk of weight gain. If you're struggling to shed extra pounds, nutritional yeast may not be the best option. Some components from nutritional yeast may support fat burning, but high amounts of B vitamins can increase appetite and they can increase the risk of weight gain. Nutritional yeast is high in zinc, a mineral that boosts fertility in men. Selenium-enriched yeast may enhance thyroid function and help with autoimmune thyroid disorders such as Hashimoto's or Graves' disease. Nicotinamide riboside from nutritional yeast supplies contains nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, or NAD, a component essential for nerve health and for cognitive performance. The potential of Saccharomyces cerevisiae to bind fungal toxins is a double-edged sword. Out of 46 analyzed yeast supplements, almost 90% were contaminated with ochratoxin A, and this can damage your kidneys. The above study tested Brewers yeast supplements, but the same threat exists for nutritional yeast, as they both contain inactive Saccharomyces cerevisiae. To avoid contaminated yeast, make sure to choose lab-tested products from reputable brands. People who are allergic to yeasts and molds should skip nutritional yeast. Those with atopic dermatitis, a type of eczema, may also be intolerant to yeast. If you have kidney stones or gout, you should avoid all yeasts. They're high in uric acid and its precursor, purine, and this may worsen your condition. Try to limit your intake of yeast-fermented products such as beer, bread, wine, and cheese. Some researchers have warned about high levels of glutamate in nutritional yeast, and this acts as an excitatory neurotransmitter in your brain. However, no studies have found harmful effects of nutritional yeast caused by glutamate in healthy individuals. If you suspect that you're sensitive to glutamate, you may want to avoid nutritional yeast. People with yeast allergies, kidney stones, or gout should avoid nutritional yeast. Others should choose lab-tested products to prevent contamination with fungal toxins. There's public concern regarding the safety of nutritional yeast for people with candida infection. Nutritional yeast contains inactive Saccharomyces cerevisiae, which cannot cause or worsen infections. Unless you're allergic to Candida or other fungi, you should be fine, but it's always a good idea to consult a doctor first. On the other hand, active yeasts, which are used for fermentation or for probiotics, these may cause infections in people with Candida or with a weakened immune system. Nutritional yeast doesn't contain gluten, but people with celiac disease or gluten intolerance or Crohn's disease may have antibodies to Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Yeast-based products may worsen the symptoms in such patients. No studies have examined the safety of Saccharomyces cerevisiae in people with non-celiac gluten sensitivity. People with an MTHFR gene polymorphism cannot convert folic acid, or B9, into the active methylfolate as effectively. Therefore, they should avoid nutritional yeast that's fortified with synthetic folic acid. Unfortified nutritional yeast can contain methylfolate, the active form that our bodies can put to better use. Yeast is also high in tyramine, and this interacts with monoamine oxidase inhibitors, or MAOIs, a class of drugs prescribed for depression. People who are on MAOIs should skip nutritional yeast and other tyramine-rich foods. Nutritional yeast is a popular cooking ingredient. You can use it as a cheese substitute in various recipes to make a vegan-friendly dressing for risotto, pasta, popcorn, mac and cheese, mushrooms, mashed potatoes, or scrambled tofu. Nutritional yeast is packed with protein, B vitamins, minerals, and prebiotic fiber. Fortified products can contain B12, selenium, and chromium. The evidence supports the use of nutritional yeast as a natural energy and immunity booster. It may also shield the heart, improve gut health, and help with diabetes. Nutritional yeast isn't suitable for people with yeast allergies, kidney stones, and gout. Some patients with a gluten intolerance, eczema, and Crohn's disease may also want to avoid it. The pleasant, cheesy flavour makes nutritional yeast a popular cooking ingredient. You can try it on your popcorn, macaroni, potatoes, mushrooms, or pasta.